Ta-da! And welcome to Joseph's Model Railway and Toy Room. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Just a little bit of housekeeping. You don't need to like, follow, subscribe to any of the videos I put out there. Just put them out there where I can. Have a holly jolly great time doing so. Now, today's video, the Wickham Trolley. Yes, indeed. But before we can get too deep discussing the Wickham Trolley, we're going to need some operators that know how this thing works. So join me today in talking about the 3D printed model kit you can get for the crew that suit the actual Wickham Trolley. For those of you that don't know too much about the Wickham Trolley, just briefly, this is what we're talking about here. It's this wonderful little utility trolley that is often found around all parts of the world, actually, a very popular style thing, and there's definitely other variations of it that go around and can inspect tracks and do maintenance and things like that. We're not really going to talk too much about that today. We're just going to talk about we need to get some people who know what they're doing to get driving the trolley and get it happening. So let's get started and dive on in, shall we?
So Model U is the operation that manufactures these, 3D prints them, running out of the UK, I'm pretty sure. So for these figures, expect to pay, I don't know, maybe about 60, 65 Australian dollars to get delivered, somewhere around that. Might have been 75 now I think about it. So here they are on their little sprue, so to speak, and they'll literally just crack off. Just be careful because they have also given you the additional 4 tools. There's a couple of shovels, as you can see, a toolbox, I think some spanners as well. But anyway, they just gently rock off, and you can see there's some incredible detail. Now, I'm not a very good painter with this stuff, so I'm not going to do them great justice, but I always imagine what my life would be if I discovered this kind of modelling when I was in my teen years. Now, we've got a little toolbox here as well, or lunchbox, or what have you, so we'll see what we can do with that as well. Let's just take a little drop of water now just to for our thing, and we're just going to base coat this in their skin tones, which I've just got a bit of a white and a bit of a tan colour there, sand or something like that. Mix them together till I sort of get something that looks like a bit of a flesh. Now we apply a base coat. Now a little bit of preliminary research, if you like, on these, because I'm not too sure how we're going to paint them up, but as I went and had a little bit of a Google on these particular little Wickham trolleys here, I thought I could see, like this one here, they're in the blue. I think that looks quite good, and there's that maroon colour one. Here's a more modern one, and they're obviously in some high-vis vests, and here's some real people with one. Again, something a little more modern. But this is the image we'll probably go for, and I think we're going to have 3 generations here, an older person and a younger one, kind of like here looks like more of a younger operator. Okay, well, let's take a few colours. Here's this green for these green trousers we're going to attempt, and that almost denim type of colour that we're going to go for the blue on top here. This particular person will be just a regular sort of middle generation British rail worker here, who's probably getting into his 50s or thinking about retirement. Right, we'll leave these chaps to dry a little bit, and then we're going to come back. We've still got to do the boots, get a bit of texture on them. I was going to hope to add a few safety stripes to his orange vest. I don't know, it's not my forte, but what the hey, let's see what happens. Okay, we'll just decant a little bit of black and a little bit of blue here so we can sort of mix up and get that sort of darker, rich colour that I'm trying to go for with the sort of overalls and workwear that you get here. And now we can sort of apply the second coat, if you like. Let's take a little bit of paper towel and a little bit of water, because I got a few bits on places it certainly should not have been. But that's the fun in this hobby, I think. And it sort of blends it in nicely. There's a few loose threads. Here we are, just coming in again with the orange here to give it that safety orange for our younger fellow, our apprentice, if you like, who's issued the latest workwear. And then we just carry on. I'm sorry, terrible with the camera here. I didn't do well at all, but we keep working him away. And now we're going to come along and just put on some of those safety stripes on his vest. Nothing too much, just enough to know that that's what it is. But we're going to scuff it up and get it looking a little bit dirty, so that should make it blend in. It's just a drop of the light grey wash we're brushing over them. And then I'm just going to dust over a little bit of weathering powder at the bottom of the boots, give it that sort of scuffed up sort of look that you'd get from working on the tracks all day. And just a little bit of an overall brush with some weathering powder just for the texture. And that's pretty much going to complete our little chaps. Well, far from perfect, but I think you can tell by the hair colour that I was trying to play with, the sort of older and then semi-mature and the young chap, that I think we've come up with something.
Well, here it is, the Wickham trolley. An immense amount of detail in such a small space. It's unbelievable. And we'll probably look at this in the more detailed video of it. However, in the meantime, as you can see, we've got the bench seats here that we need to get our crew into. So that's what we're going to do now. Extraordinary detail. If I'm not mistaken, the drive unit is in the back here. That is where the weight is. If you notice some pipe work here at the front, I actually think that's not just there for decoration. I think that illuminates the lights, depending the front lamps and the back one, depending on the direction you're going. I guess we're going to find out, but let's get our crew nice and comfy in there now. Well, here are our chaps. For the project, as always, with attaching these guys, we're going to use this Micromark detail tack, because if I change my mind and I don't want them in there or want to sell the model, I can pull my figures out accordingly, but they will sit down nicely in there. Oh, a little too much there, but I'm sure we'll make that work. Probably just going to use maybe a pin. I'd prefer a toothpick, but that's all I've got at the moment, just to get this onto the right spot. A few dribbles onto the people, and let's get them into position. So as I understand, this is our driver. Oh, just a good dollop on the bottom here. Touch on the feet. These will probably do the job nicely. Oh, that's going to be more complicated than I thought. I'm sure there's a trick for getting these chaps in. I don't know what it is. I think we're getting there. We just need to get his foot sitting on the pedal. Come on, Fred. Just get his foot down into position. Let that glue dry. There we go. We might just be in for a fighting chance. I'm going to leave that to dry just for a second. Get our next one on. And hopefully doesn't need quite as much attention. Oh. Let me just say, if it wasn't for a camera, I would yield some great results in my videos, because I'm always going back to check the camera, working on angles that make sure you get the good shot, and ensure...
Oh no, Peter's gone upside down now.
Oh, just did it again.
Make sure it's still recording and I'm not running out of space. Relax, it's iPhone. At least that was the ad campaign in 2024.
Is moving in the wrong way. Oh, come on. Idiot people. Oh, I did it again. And as you can see, we'll still need to get this trolley weathered up. Right, so we'll leave that now to dry for 24 hours before we even attempt to carry anything on. Well, let me just introduce you to the crew now. Obviously, as you know, we've got our driver here. That's Fred, or Frederick. Of course, the middle-aged chap all in blue. That's, of course, Peter. And, of course, our young boy, our apprentice, of course. That's young Elvis we have here. So that's Elvis wearing his high-vis gear there. That is the new uniform. Come on, boys. It's off to work. Let's turn the throttle up now and get this thing going. Oh, what a rotter I am. Can you believe it? Yes, that video regarding actually seeing the trolley in action and that will be in another one. But until then, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on that next one. Stay safe. Toodles.